Go.
Hey guys, Brian Page here with Page Family Sport Chiropractic. Have Nathan with me today. We're going to talk about running and cycling upper body position today. Obviously, lower body gets a lot of wear and tear. We want to talk a little bit about keeping optimal position, help prevent injuries, soft tissue, put the joints in a good position to be able to translate all those forces in the lower body, keep everything in good alignment. What you'll see a lot of in runners especially is a tendency to have a lack of internal rotation. And it kind of rounds those shoulders forward. So when you see somebody running, that head is kind of translated forward, rounds the mid-back, shoulders in a bad position. You'll start getting some of that tissue tightness, starts affecting the tendons, the ligaments, and you'll see Nathan's arm positioning. Those arms can have a tendency to cross the midline. So as he's running and you get a little bit of that twisting in the pelvis, it can change the gait cycle. So hips start getting irritated, overpronation, oversupination, a lot of deficiencies develop in the lower body. Also with cyclists, getting kind of a error bar position there, Nate, you'll see a lot of those same dysfunctions where the head has a tendency to come in front of the body, puts you in a very bad mechanical position, not only obviously for upper body, but it can also affect the mechanics in the hips and how they sequence up with the knees and the ankles. So one thing, you can come back to neutral, we want to talk about today, 3 different things, several different ways to approach it. One is we want to get some extension in that thoracic spine. Running, that helps get Nate in a good neutral position. Shoulders in line with the hips. Being able to transmit all those good forces, maintain good biomechanics. The head stays over the body. We're nice and smooth and relaxed, and we're very efficient. So one way we're going to do that is we're going to start PVC pipe. You've seen me use these before. You can find them at local hardware stores. If you don't have one of these, you could try to find some towels or anything that creates a little space under the back. Kind of want it rigid though, where it gives you a nice little kind of teepee under there to get some of that extension. So I'm going to have Nate lay this across his back. It's going to be going right in between his shoulder blades, maybe a little bit lower down, wherever you feel a lot of that tightness as you kind of arch backwards. So we're going to lay it across his shoulder blades. Nate's going to come on back. He's going to cross his arms like a bear hug. Now, the whole object here is to find some of those really tight, restricted spots. It could be a very tender spot. It could feel like you're a little restricted moving one way or the other. We're going to have Nate kind of roll back and forth, side to side. We can also have him extend his arms overhead. Come on back there, Nate. What you're trying to do here is get good extension in that mid-back area. If you need a little bit of relief, you can raise those hips up, 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi count, come back down. You can have a partner help facilitate this, where I'm going to anchor Nate's hands to the ground. He's going to raise that pelvis up, go back down, back up again. I can also have him, once he gets a little relaxed, pelvis down for me, Nate. He's going to lightly press his arms up into my resistance and relax, and I'm going to slowly kind of distract upwards and get a little bit of traction in that shoulder capsule. You can come on up there, Nate. Another way that you can do this is take 2 lacrosse balls. These are taped together. These are going to go right across Nate's mid-back in between those shoulder blades. I'm going to have you lay back there again, Nate. Just like we were just in a bear hug position, we're going to take a barbell and we're going to have Nate bear hug it. Going to rest it right over the chest there. And what we're doing here is, as he hugs that barbell, those shoulder blades externally rotate. It opens up all that soft tissue for Nate to kind of roll back and forth, get some of those knots out of those shoulder blade muscles, again, to help get those shoulder blades back, get us in a good position. You can come on up there. One other thing we're going to go through is working on some of that internal rotation. Not only with running, cycling, we've talked about before, bench press, dips, Olympic lifts like snatch, where we want to be able to get that shoulder internally rotated. It protects the labrum, gets all that soft tissue in a good position. Nate's going to lay flat on his back here. He's going to use his left arm to compress that shoulder joint down into the floor, and he's simply going to go back and forth into some internal rotation, help to mobilize that shoulder a little bit, take out that restriction so we can get that shoulder back in a good position. Another way that you can do this, you can do it on a wall. Come on up here, Nate. Nate's going to, come over here, Paul here. Going to get that hand back behind the back in a little bit of internal rotation, stretching out the front of that shoulder capsule. As he loosens up a little bit and we get that translation of the shoulder back, head in line with the shoulder, as he can play around and work in some of those tight corners, increasing a little bit of that flexibility. These are just a few things you can do. Remember, PVC pipe, lacrosse ball, working internal rotation on the ground or up against the wall. It'll really help put you in a good position, prevent some of those injuries from coming up. Hope it helps. See you soon.